Well, hello there. Thanks so much for spending a little time with us, Team Legacy. You are amazing, and tonight, or today, or yeah. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for tuning into our Simple 7 training. If you are here today, you are a Team Legacy member, so welcome. This is our Earn While You Learn Jumpstart Training program. And I want to talk a little bit about the importance of mentorship and duplication. And so let's just dive right in. If you don't know who I am, I better introduce myself. My name is Ingo Loge. I'm the founder of the 3Seed Lounge and somewhat the inventor or instigator of this Simple 7 duplication system. And so today's event or recording or lesson or teaching is really about plugging in and becoming an expert messenger and inviter. And number 3 is about always using a third-party tool. You're probably wondering what number 1 is, and hopefully you've already done number 1, because if you haven't, turn this off and go back to the number 1 training. That's really, really important. Number 1 is that you need to schedule with your sponsor a game plan interview. That's where you sit down and do your commitment letter and talk about the direction that you want to go, and they're going to plug you into this Simple 7 Jumpstart training and get you committed and working on this duplication system that seems absolutely the most simple and easiest thing to do. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our trainer for today's training. Miss Julie Shepard is absolutely so much fun to work with. Hopefully you'll have a smile on your face by the time that you're done here in our short time together. She's an incredible leader in RAIN International, and you know, she really knows everything there is to know about how to implicate and implement this Simple 7 duplication system. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Ms. Shepard to you, and she's going to talk about why we promote to the next event.
Well, hello, Mr. Loge. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And I must say to everyone who's here tonight joining us that it would not be happening if it was not for Mr. Loge. He has put an incredible amount of time and love into producing the 3Seed Lounge for our team, which is exclusively for Team Legacy. You should all be very proud to be a part of this team, because we are going to be the movers and shakers in RAIN International. So we're going to start by telling you guys, why should we promote events? What we're doing tonight, is actually an event. What is an event? It is someplace where you go to learn about how to do the business. And when we all start out in this business, the biggest question is, how do I do this? Everyone wants to know the how. So when you go to an event like a training, what that does is it creates knowledge. And then in turn, knowledge removes fear and builds belief. When you're not afraid to do this anymore because you kind of feel more like you know what you're doing and you have a direction to go in, that's going to create excitement. And when you get excited like we are about sharing this product and this business with other people, that's going to lead you to action. You're not going to be able eventually to contain yourself to tell everyone that you know and everyone that you meet about RAIN International and about the incredible products that we have to share with the world. When you do that, your excitement is going to lead to action, and action creates results. And that's why we're all here. We either want to see a large result or effect and change in our health or the health of others that we know and love, or we want to see a result in terms of our bank accounts. That's why we're doing a business. When you start your own business, you are taking charge of your life. So what we're going to do is create an analogy for you. And if we look at the next slide, you will see a baseball diamond. Now, anybody's ever watched one of the most famous movies ever produced, which was Field of Dreams, we all know that James Earl Jones told us, baseball is life. And in your business, this baseball diamond is going to become your lifeline, because you can take a simple look at this and go around the bases with me until you bring somebody home and you score a run. We're going to use that analogy because it makes it easy to remember the steps that you need to take in your business in order to have a result. So the first thing you want to do is go to first base. And how do you go to first base? By piquing their interest. You sample the product to them, or you give them your quick testimonial of what Soul has done for you. If you don't have a testimonial yet, You can borrow someone else's testimony until you have one. After they're interested, you're going to take them from first to second base. On second base, and I see Ingo's cursor running to second base, you're going to use a third-party tool to explain it, because the person's going to say, well, what is this? We do not want you to move your lips. Using a third-party tool means using anything other than yourself in order to explain the business or the product. We have so many things that you can use. We have websites, DVDs, webinars, meetings. A perfect tool to always use is to tell them to just go to lifeconcentrated.com. You can either give them that link, or you can lead them to it on the gorgeous website that Ingo built for you. Once they've looked at that, then you're going to want to connect them to an expert. The most effective way to do this is to get the person to take 6 minutes, which is all the video is, connect them to lifeconcentrated.com, and make sure that they're watching it. And while they're watching it, you tell them, I promise to call you back in about 10 minutes because I want to see what you think of it. While they're watching the video, you get your expert on the phone with you. Tell them a little bit about your friend, and then call them back in 10 minutes. And your senior partner or your expert will close and relate to the person and enroll them, bringing them on into home base. Now, what you don't want to do is go from first base to third base, because if you did that in a baseball game, you'd be out. You'd be thrown out of the game. You never want to explain everything. You want to lead them to information. The reason for this is because a third-party tool, a website or a DVD or a webinar, doesn't make mistakes. When we say something, we may put in our own emotions or opinions, and that doesn't duplicate. And this is a system about duplication. System is an acronym. You might want to write this down. SYSTEM. Save yourself time, energy, and money. And by following this system and taking people simply around the bases, that's exactly what you'll do. Now, there's a word here on the screen. It says Edify an expert. And I know when I first started, I was like, okay, what does that mean? What does it mean to edify an expert? So we're going to have Mr. Loger give you a little definition of what it means to edify.
Well, thank you, Ms. Shepard. And I remember in that movie, I think the little girl says to Kevin Costner, people will come. People will come. Remember, build it and they will come. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. Building it and they will come. If you will do the work, they will come. And they will come from all over to see you play baseball. And your baseball game is called your Rain Business. So thank you, Ms. Shepard. Hey, listen, definition of edification. It is really the magic. And it's really something I never grew up with. So this was a new word for me in this business sense, but it's really to give value to someone or something. Edification is a necessary skill that we all have to learn, and it's something that I am having so much fun doing this because we've had so many takes in trying to do this training that I've learned how to edify just by reading this slide right here. So no, we're having a lot of fun. Edify, listen guys, it means to amplify the good in others. It doesn't mean lying or fabricating any types of attributes. It's really an amazing word and an amazing skill. And here's the value of it. And before, I know that you can see this on your screen, but it's really, when you speak highly of somebody, you build up their credibility. Everybody that you meet has exceptional qualities and a reason why they should be treated and listened to with respect. And so this edification process creates the respect for that person that's going to assist you in building your Rain business, whether you're just doing it full-time or you're a business builder or you're just drizzling, you're just trying to get your product for free. You still want to use this edification process. And when you edify a third person to present the opportunity, this is a wonderful thing because your friends trust you, but they may not respect you as an expert. And there's a lot of analogies that I could give you in this, but if you learn how to edify somebody properly, you really increase the influence in their decision to become a Rain partner or a Rain customer. For example, if I introduced your let's say your new financial planner. Let's say you had a financial planner and I introduced him and I said, hey, this is Bob, give him all your money. You know, that doesn't exactly inspire confidence in you, right? But on the other hand, if I say, you know, this is my trusted financial advisor, Bob Smith, whose insight and experience, you know, has given me 20% returns every year for the past 5 years. This might make you feel a bit more receptive. So the difference between those two things that I just said, that's called edifying. Edifying is simply explaining to someone in a few sentences why they should trust a third party you are about to introduce to them. So in the next slide, I'm going to have Ms. Shepard actually share with you what our objective is for the rest of our training. Go ahead, Ms. Shepard.
Thank you, Mr. Loge. So our objective, clean, clear, and simple, guys, is to build up the credibility of your upline expert, which most importantly is going to give your prospect a reason why they should listen. Okay, so the next slide is going to tell you exactly how to do it. Get out your pens and write this down. ABC. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of this. I just made a call to my friend who watched lifeconcentrated.com, and I say, I have my partner John on the line with me. He knows everything there is to know about soul. He's helping so many people, and he's a fun person to work with. Oh, wait, let me do that another way. I have my partner John here on the line. He's such a fun person to work with, and he's helping so many people, and he knows everything there is to know about soul. Do it again. I have my partner John on the line. He is helping so many people. He knows everything there is to know about soul, and he's a lot of fun to work with. As you can see, I just did that 3 different ways in 3 different orders, and you can learn to say these 3 things with confidence about anyone in any order. Nothing to memorize. Just know the 3 key points that you have to hit to make an impression. Really, I'm not kidding. Any order. Learn those 3 and you will build a huge business. Now, once my expert gets on the phone, he's going to edify me in return. And he's simply going to say, you are so fortunate that Jane shared this with you. She's such a caring person. So we edify each other without going into long introductions or backgrounds or degrees, because anyone, as we told you before, anybody at all can be an expert. I could be an expert for you right now, or you, even if you're brand new, could be an expert for me, as long as you know the key points to hit. So moving on, let's just go over this really quickly. We've got the edification triangle, and we did it this way in a graphic so that you could understand that it is simply going to build trust between you and your friend. They trust you already, and by edifying your expert, they are going to be able to respect that person, and they will be more likely to listen, so that you can, on the baseball diamond, move them from the call right to enrollment, whether it's for the product or it's for being a business partner, which is always wonderful. So what's the object of the expert? What do we want from our expert to do? You're probably saying to yourself, oh, I couldn't be an expert. So if you look at the next slide, you will see that the role of the expert is just to tell their short story, explain basically what's in soul, and ask them if they'd like to try a box. That's it. Your short story can be anywhere from 30 seconds to 1 minute. It shouldn't be longer. We're always in a hurry, and we always want to respect the time of everyone involved, not only your customer, but your business partner, and be respectful of your own time. If we spend more than 5 minutes on the phone with someone, we're not doing this properly, it won't duplicate, and people are going to say, oh, this takes too much time to do, and they're not going to want to do it. So we want to keep it clean, we want to keep it short, and we want to keep the information crisp so that people will see the value like we did and sign up. I'll give you a quick example, my short story. Hi, my name is Julie. It's so nice to meet you. I was introduced to Soul about 4 months ago, and I started taking it, and I felt immediate, immense results. I'm a cancer survivor, And from what John told me about you, you're having some health issues too. I think you could really see benefit in this because, and then you tell them what's in Soul, you tell them the ingredients, and then after you do that, you just say, look, would you like to try a box today risk-free for yourself? Now, one of three things is going to happen here. They're either going to say yes, they're going to say they have questions, or they're going to say they need more information. In any of these instances, once you've asked them to make a commitment and try it for themselves, you want to remove yourself from the equation and turn it back over to their sponsor. So if they say yes, you just say, great, John will show you how to order it. It was so nice to meet you. Goodbye. If they say they have questions, answer them if you can. If you don't, you tell them you'll gladly get them the answer. If they say they need more information, you can invite them to the next event, no matter what it is, whether it's a meeting or a webinar. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And then thank the person that gave them the information and say goodbye. And that's really it. So you can see the role of an expert is really as simple as the role of the inviter. So we're going to want you to practice those things.
Yeah, role-playing is really a lot of fun. And one of the things that I wanted to add to what Ms. Shepard already said, and that is keep in mind that your prospect has already spoken to you. So now it's time for that third party, the expert, which is you, if you're practiced, or which is your expert, which is your upline, or your senior partner, or whoever you have designated as your expert for that call. But it's really important. This is a key. And this is one thing that it was hard for me to learn, and that was to zip it, because to resist the temptation to talk alongside the third-party expert is really hard, because you'll want to say something. So your goal really is to allow your mentor or that expert to share their story and ask those questions that will guide that new person towards the results, as Ms. Shepard described of the base pads there. So you don't want your prospect to feel like two people are talking at them. This is really, really important. So it'll show you and it'll show them how to share RAIN and that product that we have with others by connecting them to the team. And so that's what you're really trying to do here. So when you role play, it's important that you do this. And we'll talk about this in another training. The best person to really role play with is your workout partner. If you don't have a workout partner, try talking to the wall, your dog, your husband, your wife, your friend, but work on edifying someone that you know very well. Edify someone that you don't know at all. Practice being the expert so you can switch roles. Practice being the inviter. One of the most important things is that what do you do during that three-way call? I can recall just sitting around and listening and taking notes, and oh, that's interesting, and so that's what I did. It's very important. You just pop a soul open, pop a core open, and drink while you're taking notes. Have a notepad ready, you guys, a piece of paper to take those notes, but it's also good to write down some of the questions or comments you may be tempted to interject, because this will keep you from giving in to the temptation to talk alongside that person. I got to tell you, I had a lot of background in nutrition, and I always wanted to talk over somebody else, and I had to really be ignorance on fire. I had to zip it. So that was one of the hard things for me to learn. So this is so hard, but you may have a hard time remaining quiet. That's okay. But if you follow the guidelines that we're giving you here in this training, you are going to be an amazing expert. So that's why we have number 6, never interrupt the expert. And always, always, always just thank them for their time. Your time's valuable. Their time's valuable. Be in a hurry, but be in a professional hurry. And that's important. So let's just recap in our training what we did today. It's really all about duplication. And the ABCs of edification are so important. So you know that there's no random order. You can do C first, B first, A first, whatever that is. They're an incredible leader in RAIN International. They're a lot of fun to work with. They know everything there is to know about these products and the business. Hey, that was ABC, or you can reverse that. Always use a third-party tool. And again, if you're going to peak them, you're going to use the weekly webinars are awesome. Those are live opportunity meetings that we have on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. You can register for those on the 3C Lounge. It's a lot easier to have people in a virtual room rather than inviting people to a hotel room right now. So you can drive people to that. You can also get them on the website. You know, 3Seed Lounge has lifeconcentrated.com. It's right there. We have the videos for that. You can do a launch meeting in your home. You can break out your starter kit with your DVD and do the launch meeting right there in your rain cycle. Is on page 17 and 18 exactly how to do this. And you could have one of us as your third-party expert. We can stream live over the phone. You can put us on speakerphone. We can stream live over a video camera. But that's so important to use those third-party tools. You also want to always promote the next event. So for us, if today is a Tuesday or a Monday, we're going to promote to the next event, which is Tuesday's webinar. If today was Wednesday, we're going to promote to Thursday's webinar. If today's Friday and we have a rain meeting locally, we're going to promote to that event. So always promote to the next event. And guys, listen, learn how to become the expert, okay? Really practice this. You need to use your scripts. You know, we all love great movies, and they have learned their lines. This is the language that we use in our business. So learn to be natural at it. Read it out loud. Do it in front of the mirror, but learn to become the expert and also the messenger, the inviter. You can just be an inviter if there's nothing else. Since this is Jumpstart Trading, if you do nothing else but learn how to become an expert inviter, you are going to run to the bank with a lot of money, and you'll have a lot of free product. I guarantee you that. One thing that's really important is to play in the batter's box. The batter's box is kind of that place where we stand and practice our swings. If you've ever played baseball or watched a baseball game, you see that person swinging before they get up to the plate. I want you to just practice, okay? Hold it in your hands. Use the scripts. Download the scripts. Don't skip any of those bases, because if you try to go from first base to third base or first base to home, someone's going to throw you out. You want to just go around and pique their interest, use the third-party tools, and you will be successful. So you'll have all this to watch. And one of the great things is, Julie's going to recap, but we have the scripts for you, so you can download those, so you can review this, plus you have the video. And Ms. Shepard, would you just tell them what's coming up in our next training, please?
Absolutely. Next week we're going to cover number 4 in the Simple 7. And I hope that you all got a lot out of tonight's presentation. But once you learn how to do that, you're going to wonder how you can do an effective exposure, how you can even get to people in order to tell them about rain. Some of us may not feel comfortable about talking about it. We're going to go over an effective training next week to show you times and places and ways to do it. And we're going to tell you the simple secret to staying organized. We have devised a method for you so that this will run like clockwork, because the fortune is, of course, in the follow-up. If you tell people about secret and then you don't get back to them to see what they thought or connect them to an expert, nothing is going to happen. We're going to cover, and I'm sure you're all wondering about this one, I'm out of peanut butter. This is something that you will learn, and it's going to save you all a lot of time. So if you have no goal, guys, you can never hit it. We're going to go over that in depth next week. And your goal for this week is to have 2 guests on the webinar on Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Monday.
Or whatever day you're going to look at this, we'll just see you. You can play us over and over again, because this is the secret to the Simple 7 is repetition. Repetition is the mother of learning. So go ahead and click download on those scripts right now, review it, watch us, and we'll see you in the next training, okay? Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.